Hey, Pastor Steve Waldron. I hope you're having a great day in Jesus. We're going to look at a couple Bibles today, a comparison. This is a local church Bible publishing. It's actually sort of the Lord 80th anniversary edition, but it's really the same thing as their Scofield reference Bible. And these are the finest Scofields you can basically get right now, as you can see. I mean, oh my goodness, incredible leather. Let's see what it says. It doesn't say. I'm going to guess this is some kind of calfskin. And then this is the 62L from R.L. Allan. Let's look at that. Got the big yap, all this. Allan probably makes slightly better Bibles than either local church or church Bible. I would say church Bible makes a little better product, a little better than local church, but local church is traditionally a little less expensive too. Then Allan's are going to be a step up. Isn't that like the Queen's printer in Scotland or something? And it's going to be quite a bit more expensive unless you get it on sale, which I got this one on sale. I'm going to guess because of this color, but I'm okay with the color. It's like a taupe. But you can see it has slightly raised book bands, whereas the Scofield has really good book bands. A lot of people like the R.L. Allan 62. It's got a lot of room to write. The workmanship is just out of this world. To me, it's a little big to carry. But I just thought we'd do a little comparison today. Just sitting here kind of praying what video to do next. I just kind of felt led. So maybe somebody out there needs this video. Maybe a few of you do. But I just kind of felt like, yeah, I need to do that. Let me just show you too about the yaps that you can, and I'm not totally positive we can zoom in to where that gives you a feel for the yap, but like this is going to have a yap is just basically the overhang, which I'm not huge on yaps. The justification for yaps is that it protects the binding, the gilt edging. And art gilt edging is red over gold, which this is. I think you can kind of plainly see red over gold. Whereas one of the ways, like a local church, I bought this for like $5 or $6 on eBay. I was so thankful. Maybe it wasn't listed just right, but I don't know how I got it. But it was amazing, the Scofield. But it's not art gilt. It's gilt edging, which is gold edging, 23, 24 karat gold. You know, I just found out the other day you can eat gold. I didn't eat it. I saw a video of some people eating gold. I was like, it's kind of weird. I don't know. I don't really understand. Be that as it may, this is not a video on this. This is Mariva calfskin. A lot of people hate for me to say this, but the calfskins in some times from R.L. Allan are equal just about anyhow to the Moroccans. People like to just put things in boxes in our minds, like all this people's bad, all that people's bad, all this person's good, blah, blah. They do the same with this. And there was, for many years, a real debate on whether calfskin was better as Moroccan leather, which is goat skin. And pretty much consensus is it's goat skin is better. But there's so many variables because just like humans have different skin constituencies, well, so do animals. And it depends on their climate, depends on their diet, depends on their genetics. And so every so often you can get a calfskin that maybe has a great diet, great DNA and all this, and their skin is just going to be unbelievable. And this is a case right here. And this is going to come with 3 ribbon markers, not decorative headbands and tailbands. I don't have the ribbon markers out. Whereas the church Bible publisher is only going to have 2 ribbon markers. I did want to show you one of these ribbon markers maybe. I hate to take it out because I have never even taken these ribbon markers out of the deal. And so but I was going to see if I could just show it to you. Maybe I can put it back. But they're long ribbon markers, very long and thick, as you can see, whereas this would be, poor Brother Mallory's got a challenge today. I appreciate him doing this ministry. But you can see, I mean, these are obviously much longer and thicker ribbon markers. So you're paying, this Bible probably is somewhere around $55 to $60 on local church. Now, one thing with local church and sometimes church Bible is, especially local church, the shipping charges will get you. You have to really watch out for that. So sometimes those shipping charges will make, I say local church a little less expensive. That's all things being equal, but the shipping charges may get it where it's more expensive. But so this is if I'm measuring this correctly, this may be the longest ribbon marker I've ever seen in a Bible. It is 4.75 inches. And that's long. And it is 0.3 inches wide, whereas this is this looks like it is 2 1/4 to 2 1/2 inches, and it's probably in width. It's a 1/4 inch. So just a lot of a difference there. But let's just let you take a look. Mariva calfskin. This is called a spine stabilization page. It's not a defect. You never want to rip that open. Has several blank pages at the front, and then it has the very nicely understated traditional presentation page with some genealogies. The long primer is called 52 because it came out in 1952, at least from Oxford. Allan is printing the Oxford Bibles now. And so 62 just means it's a different thing. So it's larger. What print, though? It's considered to be a readable print. It's got the epistle dedicatory license to print. It does not have the translators to the reader. It just does not. I'll show you this page. And then we'll hop right into it. There were printings of the Bible done by Collins, Ear and Spottiswoode, of course, Cambridge, Nelson, Oxford, that are considered classic printings. And they were done, the white paper on black is just considered classic. It's extraordinarily readable, eminently readable, just unbelievably readable, almost to the point it's you can't believe it. Bible paper is traditionally very thin. This has almost no ghosting. It's going to have, and I've done a review on this Bible, it's got like inch margins, not much in the gutter, 0.375 in the gutter, 0.75 at the top looks like, and looks like 0.8 at the bottom, but just eminently readable. Now, Scofield, being an Oxford text type, is just fantastic as well. It's great, but this is a much smaller Bible. It does have decorative headbands and tailbands, unlike a long primer 62. So let's take a quick look at, and I do like the fact that the long primer has great references, has the dating at the top. Let's see if we can do a comparison of the print size. And I think you'll just see that the long primer just has, if I can do this, I mean, much better print. much, eminently better print. Now the Scofield's going to have some notes, going to have some brief introductions before the books. It too is going to have the traditional dating at the top of the referencing system. I may turn to a similar page and see who's got the best references, or are they both, since they're Oxford, same? So let's go to Exodus 4. Exodus 4. There's different types of center column references, but really easy to get to know how to use. There's so many different types of references now, like at the bottom of the verses and stuff like that. So it's not identical. See, it looks like the references in the Scofield are more almost commentary references, to where the references in the long primer are going to be more of just basic scriptural references. I may have moved that Bible too early. Sorry about that, Brother Mallory. Here we go. I was in a hurry to get this long primer up here. You know, and let's say the long primer is 100 as far as build quality. The local church is going to be a 90 to a 95. It's that close. Like, this doesn't have stitched edging, the local church does. If you held them in your hand, you'd be able to see that there is just a little difference in quality. But little being the key word, and a big difference in price. Now, another word about buying long primers is going to their UK website. Like if you just punch in RL Allan 62, a lot of times the Google search will take you to a place called Bibles Direct UK. They're usually free shipping. Don't be afraid of ordering from there. Let's look at what's at the back here. Also, this is not red letter. Long primers for a long time have not been coming out in red letter. I really wish they had. I wish they had the option. I'm not a big red letter fan, but a lot of people are. I had a friend of mine, he sold Bibles like on eBay. That was kind of like a thing he did to earn extra money kind of thing. And he said, if you've got a Bible without red letter, it's just, he said you sell like 7-8 to 1 red letter versus non-red letter. So you can see like this dictionary concordance has a great amount in here. Dictionary of Scripture Proper Names, Subject Index. There's the Proper Names Index in the back. That's so helpful. Because even like Paul would use that. He would interpret what Melchizedek means. He would interpret what Salem meant. So some good stuff. We'll see what this has at the back as well in the local church. So I don't consider the R.L. Allan a study Bible per se. I consider it an incredible readable Bible. Now, I'll show you the maps here. A lot of people, and I do like the Oxford maps a lot of people don't like the Oxford text. There's 3 differences between the Oxford and the Cambridge text. Some point out a whole lot more differences than that, but there's 3 main differences. In the Cambridge text, while they're both accurate, like Jeremiah 34:16, I've done a video comparing the wide margins of Cambridge and Oxford, and I go into the differences between the text and that. The Cambridge is a little more accurate, but they're both good. This is not red letter either, and I'm going to show you, if I can get to it, like a brief introduction. Trying to get to Mark. This also has good like in-text outlines, really good, whereas the long primer does not have any in-text headers, which is fine with me. The long primer also does not have the original King James, underneath each chapter. It'll break it down. It just doesn't have that. So it's going to have some commentary. Classic Scofield. You can't really underestimate the impact Scofield has, some people would say, on world hegemony to this day, because, see, it's got a dictionary of proper names. I'm going to guess it's the same one. Subject index, I'm going to guess it's probably the same one. Concordance, because of its advocacy for Israel. And then we're just going to do a size comparison for you here too. The advocacy for Israel is just... But see, that was going on way before Scofield. And a lot of people have all these conspiracy theories about Theodore Herzl and that Scofield was a drunk and then he went to New York and he got rich. And I have tried to follow that. And to me, there are some leaps in those chronologies. Real leaps in those chronologies. And I'm just like, I don't really see it. But people are like, well, how else could he get published by Oxford? Well, maybe. Is there proof of this anywhere? I'm not talking about supposition. I'm talking about proof. And that's a real struggle. So a lot of people that aren't really into that conspiratorial side of things really like the Scofield. But no doubt about it, he thought that Israel was going back into the Holy Land. But again, that's been something from earliest times, in a sense, in Christianity. So let's just do this real quick. I'll have Brother Mallory zoom in on this. It's 8.5 by 5 3/4. Yeah, I won't have him come in, by 1 3/4. And this is 7 by 10.25. But now the yap, it's got a full 1/2 inch yap, and by 1 3/4, so the width, but it's quite a bit bigger. So the Allan 62 versus the local church Scofield, if I'm going to carry it to church, I'm getting the local church Scofield. That's just me. If I'm reading it, I'm reading the Allan, even though the Allan may be too hard to pick up for some people. And that's a lot of elderly people need a large print in a smaller Bible. Now there's laws of physics that get involved there. And so sometimes arthritic hands and things, this may not be bad. But if you're looking for something that harkens back to about 100-year-old experience of reading the Bible, boy, this is tough to beat this R.L. Allan. If you're looking for just a great deal, local church Bible, phenomenal. Talk with you later in Jesus' name.